Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about feminism in the movie industry and then some politics and stuff also, and my stance on why I never share anything with you guys when it comes to like my personal life and like different opinions like politics and all that kind of stuff, just because, yeah, we'll get into that in a second. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already and we'll get on with the video. So I'm going to start with talking about some of the stuff in the film industry that's happened recently about feminism and some problematic actors and actresses and my opinion on them. And here's my thing. A little disclaimer, because towards the end of the video I talk about if I think that actors and actresses should share their opinions about politics and stuff. I'm sharing my opinions about stuff that's within the film industry, so therefore it's not really going against my own morals. So, hold. So recently, Jenna Ortega came out with this.
You know what I would say about that specifically as well? I love that there's a lot more female leads nowadays. I think that's so special, but we should have our own. I don't like it when it's like a spin-off. Like, I don't want to see like Jamie Bond, you know? Like, I want to see just like another badass. So, yeah, something like that. Definitely leave it.
And the media has been circulating this video, and people are trying to figure out if they agree with her or if she's being too, like, anti-feminism. I don't think that she's being anti-feminism at all. I actually think that she's more on board because here's her thing. She doesn't think that female leads should be like a hand-me-down from the boys or leftovers from the boys, which I 100% agree with. Just write original characters. Like, I don't want to see a Jamie Bond. I don't care to see like a, I don't know, like Indiana. Could Indiana be a girl name? Like Indiana Jones? I don't know. But I don't want to see like girl versions of those characters. But like Sherlock Holmes was a good idea. Like Enola Holmes, because there's like the sister of Sherlock Holmes, which they still could have just made an original character, but it was still good. But yeah, that's my thoughts with it. It's like, just write original characters. And in the video that I've made before, I was saying how they need to make more original characters anyway, because everything now is just spin-offs and stuff and remakes, and it's like, just make new ideas, guys. So that's the thing. If you haven't checked out that video yet, you should definitely go see it, because I'll be referencing it throughout this video. Another topic we're going to talk about is Rachel Zegler and my opinion on her. I don't like her. I used to actually really like her because I liked her in West Side Story, and I thought it was cool that she was literally like in her senior high school play, and they were like, hey, you got the role, and she's like, oh, slay, kind of thing. Like, I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, that's so fun. That's like a fellow theater kid got a cool role in a Steven Spielberg movie. Like, that's awesome. And I really liked, she did a good job in that role. But then once her career started kicking off, I feel like it all went to her head, and now she's just like really arrogant. And it's like annoying to watch her, because she's so like, you can just tell that she's just like, I'm just better than everyone kind of a thing. And I don't really like that. So yeah. And that's my biggest thing is my favorite princess was Snow White. Growing up, I was obsessed with her. That was like one of my favorite movies. I loved meeting her at Disney World. Like, she was my favorite person to go meet. I've always loved Snow White. Like, I had dresses of her. Yeah, I loved her. But now that she's playing her in the remake makes me angry, because it's just, that's not the Snow White that I liked growing up. So that's the thing. And I've said it in my other video, the whole inclusivity thing. It's like, well, we're having a Hispanic woman play Snow White. It's inclusive because we don't have Hispanic princesses. Just write Hispanic princesses then. Like, stop. I'm a pale person. I love Snow White because I'm pale. No. Oh gosh, I gotta have to crop that out. And it's not because I'm white and I'm like, oh, but I want a white princess. It's like, I liked Snow White because she was pale and she had dark hair. Like me. And like, I'm a pale person. I'm not tan. So, yeah. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for that one, but I don't care. But yeah, so just write other characters. Like, jeez. I would love to see a Hispanic princess. That would be dope. And they don't have like a Hispanic princess yet, because they have like Coco, which is technically, I'm gonna get this all wrong. Don't mind me, guys, I'm just a dumb American. Like, they have Coco, they have Encanto, but none of those are about, I sounded so American. Encanto, But those aren't about princesses. Well, I guess they do have Elena. They should make a live action Elena of Avalor. That would be good. But even if they got a white actress to play her, like somebody as pale as me, I'd be like, no, get the Hispanic actress. That's the thing. It's like, if you're gonna make a remake, make it a remake. Like, Lion King was the perfect remake. It was almost like frame for frame identical. And then, like, that you can call a remake. But, like, the Dumbo movie wasn't really a remake. It was a reimagining is what I like to call it. And, yeah. Because, like, for the Snow White movie, they shouldn't call it a remake. They should even change the title if it's not even going to be like that. Like, please, I beg of thee. Don't associate her with Snow White. But just because, like, there's nothing wrong with having a prince and, like, settling for a boy. And, like, recently, movies, when they make remakes and stuff, and it's a female lead, they're like, we have to make it so she doesn't have a boyfriend. Or, like, a love interest that rescues her. And, like, I think it's Elle Fanning? I don't know. The actress that played Aurora in Maleficent, she said something, she goes, there's nothing wrong with still being feminine and still wanting to be rescued by a boy. Which I think is what these modern remakes are kind of missing. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. So, like, why are you making it seem like it's wrong for a girl to like flowers and not want to be rescued? Not want to save herself, like, want to be rescued. I don't want to be rescued. Only by Flynn Rider, though. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Rachel Zegler's making it sound like a problem. And also another thing about casting, they're gonna get, like, a negative point in casting. Because, like, why did they cast the evil queen to be that actress who's drop dead gorgeous? And be like, I'm jealous of Snow White. Because, like, I think every woman is very beautiful. But some are more pretty than others sometimes. And that's just fact. And, like, Rachel Zegler's pretty. But not as pretty as the other girl. So, it's like, why? It just doesn't make sense to me. It feels like it's a money grab too. And yet, the fact that they CGI dwarves because they said it would be offensive to cast real ones. Explain that to me. And I think that's actually very insulting for people who are shorter. Because it's like, why couldn't they just cast real actors? So yeah, that's my whole stance on the new Snow White movie. I'm not excited to see it. I'm gonna watch it just so I can, like, be like, wow, see, this is why we need better people in the film industry. But yeah, it's just because, like, yeah. The movie Mirror Mirror, that's a good one. And that's a reimagining because it's not just about Snow White and it's a little bit of a different story. I love that movie. And they also casted real, like, short people. They didn't CGI it because it wouldn't be offensive. And that was even when people were less sensitive. I meant, no. I sound like I'm sensitive by saying they should have just casted real people. But it's true. It's like, how is that offensive? It's more offensive to CGI them. Just saying. Anyway, it's just gonna be a whack movie. I'm not looking forward to it. It's probably gonna have so many plot holes. I cannot wait to just sit there in the theater with, like, a checkboard and be like the checkboard. Not a checkboard, a clipboard. And be like, plot hole, plot hole, plot hole, plot hole. And that was like with that trap movie I already did a review about. That whole movie, I just had my phone out and I was just, like, writing things that I could remember and just, like, try to see if at the very end of the movie everything would connect, but nothing happened. Like, it was just such an unsettling movie. Like, it was unsatisfying. Not unsettling because it was creepy. Unsettling because it was unsatisfying. So I'm not excited for that Snow White movie. Just write more original characters! That's the moral of the story. Another person we're going to talk about today is Blake Lively. I think that she should not have been cast in It Ends With Us because she took it very unseriously. And I know people who personally have gone through domestic violence, and, like, she treated the whole topic of it and, like, advertising the movie with, like, so much unsensitivity that it was, like, it was so uncomfortable to watch. Like, I was like, why are you being such a jerk about this? Like, she like, portrays a role, I don't know. And that's the thing, like, I feel like the male leads did a good job about being like, yeah, this is a serious topic and we wanted to treat this seriously. And if you are in the audience and if you have ever dealt with this, like, I'm sorry for you. Like, they were always, like, doing that, being super compassionate. But she was just like, grab your florals, get your besties, and head to the theaters to watch my rom-com. It's like, bro, you're missing the whole point. But yeah, so I don't really like Blake Lively either. She's just too, like, unserious. And that's the thing. I'm about to, like, start saying about, like, politics and where actors should stand when it comes to, like, sharing their opinions or keeping things just, like, ground level. And it's like, I feel like Blake Lively is just too ground level, surface level, and she's just too, like, about everything. But then there's some actors, like Rachel Zegler, that's, like, too deep into it, where it's like, now are you an actress or are you a politic? Kind of a thing. But yeah, so now I'm going to talk about politics. This will be funny. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this in a video is because I get a lot of DMs, a lot, about people asking very direct questions about my political party, and that needs to stop because, like, it causes division. I'm not a politic at all. I actually hate politics. I try to stay out of it with the best of my ability, just because it's just so much. And I'm an American, so it's like, right now it's just, everything is just slowly crashing and burning, and I'm just like, oh boy, yay, this is just great, kind of a thing. And people will text me and be like, are you for Palestine or Israel? Are you Republican or Democrat? Are you going to endorse Kamala or Trump? And my thing with that is I never answer. And it's because I tell them, I'm like, I'm not going to share my opinion about it because, like, it does matter my opinion, but I don't need to tell you it. And the reason why I do this is because it causes so much division. And also, I'm an actress. I don't have any expertise in any of these things, that I don't find it necessary for me to be making big claims. Because that's just not the kind of person I am. I am an actor, and I make videos that are about imagination and fun and, like, books and escapism on Instagram, and I talk about movies on YouTube, and I do fun vlogs with my family. Nowhere in that I want to talk about heavy topics, because then it kind of just breaks the idea of, like, fantasy and fun that I've created, if that makes sense. So, like, when I start bringing in things from the real world into my little fantasy land, then it kind of just, like, it blurs the lines of things, and I don't like it being just to bring back to reality. Because that's my big thing about my content, is, like, I want it to be, like, a rest for everyone, and just be like, oh, like, there's nothing ever that makes me anxious, or, like, oh, like, she's talking about this now, and I don't like talking about this topic because it makes me uncomfortable, kind of a thing. And it's like, I don't ever want to put anybody in that position, so, like, I'm just keeping my stuff light and fluffy. And I know I was just talking about how things are ground level, and my thing, it's like, you guys know I have these opinions, but I just don't want to share them because I don't deem it necessary, and I don't want to cause that division or blur the lines between just my fantasy land and reality. So yeah, and I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. It feels like my content creating stuff is an alternate personality, and when I start taking things from my personal life to my alternate internet personality, then it blurs the lines, and I just don't like connecting the two. And I'm saying this like I'm one of those actors that's like, I'm a pop star by day, but then a normal girl at night, kind of thing, which is not true. I only have 19,000 followers. Well, 18,000 as of right now. And the thing is like, I just personally don't like blurring those lines. I know Taylor Swift, she shares her opinion a lot about politics, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if other actors want to share their opinions, like, good for them. But the reasoning behind why I don't is just because I don't like blurring those lines. And also, another person that's helped me back up my idea with this, because I'm like, is it wrong of me? Like, am I just shallow for not wanting to share that stuff? And I don't think I'm shallow at all, because Elvis said the exact same thing. So, and Elvis is like my main inspiration for everything. So...
What is your opinion of war protesters? And would you today refuse to be drafted?
Honey, I just seem to keep my own personal views about that to myself. Because I'm just an entertainer, and I'd rather not say.
You think other entertainers should also keep their views to themselves?
No.
And a lot of people will be like, well, you're a human too, and you live in this country, so you should have an opinion on this. It's like, yes, I do have an opinion on it, but I don't need to share that with you because it frankly doesn't matter. Like, my opinion does matter, but I don't need to vocalize it 24/7. And once again, if you're an actor or an influencer and that's what you like to do, then you do it. But I just don't want to. But yeah. So that's kind of my stance on sharing politics and stuff. And it creates unnecessary tension and division. And it's like, well, if this person thinks that thing. And like my thing, people are like, oh, but you can share what religion you are? Yeah. But like, I'm not going to cause division if you're like a Mormon or a Muslim or atheist. Like, it's just, because like I want to identify as a Christian. I don't ever want people to be like, oh, you're a Christian? I would have never thought that. Would be like, wow, kind of thing. But it's like, I want to, that's the one thing that at the end of everything that matters the most to me is my religion. But I'm not going to force that on you guys. Like, it's okay to have different opinions. But that's just like the ground level of it. It's like, I don't care to get in debates with you guys. It's just like, it's almost like saying like, I'm an American. Sharing that I'm an American isn't a problem. But yeah. It's the same with Christianity for me. And I feel like that's more of like a respected topic. So, yeah. And like, if I was a part of like the LGBTQ community, it would be none of your guys' business. I'm not, but like, if I didn't want to share that I wasn't, there's nothing wrong with that. So, if I was, then there's nothing wrong with that. If that all makes sense. My family members are probably going to watch this and be like, Brie, you're getting this all wrong. But it's like, I'm just trying to word vomit in a way that's like, not going to be too blunt that it sounds rude, but then also not going to be so vague that you guys don't understand. But yeah. So yeah, with all that said about politics and stuff, it's just like, if actors and actresses want to share their opinions, they can do that. They can do whatever they want to. But it's just the reason why I'm only going to keep it limited to my professions. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's not because, like, I know that you're on one side and I just don't want to say it because I don't want you to be mad at me. It's just like, I just don't want to blur those lines. So do you guys agree with me? And that's the thing. This was probably the most politics I'll ever talk about. I just need a disclaimer so then I make a video about it so I can, if somebody's like, ask me a question again, I could just send them this video and be like, just go watch this, okay? And don't assume things about me. Like, we just need to just ignore that. I need to find the clip of Elvis saying it though, because it made me so happy when I saw him say it. I was like, thank you. Like, that's what I think too. And it's just because, like, yeah. Oh, something though about like blurring the lines that I absolutely hate, because so the thing with film and having a social media is you do have to have more of a confident and like outgoing personality to appear on screen and be friendly, because I haven't said a word. I'm not having a conversation with someone face to face right now. I'm literally talking to a camera. And I have to be comfortable enough to do that. So to do that, I have to kind of put on an act in a way. And it's kind of the same when like making content, because you have to have like this personality. And the thing is like, I'm not just an actress in real life. I have so many other hobbies that I like to do. And there's so many like things that I like to do with my time other than acting. And there's other parts of my personality that you guys will probably just never see because it's not my on-camera personality. And so when I have friends that I'll be hanging out with them and they're like, so I found your Pinterest account, I'm instantly like, oh bro. Because that's the thing. It's like, this is kind of just my, not alternate ego, but my alternate ego. And it's almost like a superpower in a way. Because you know how Peter Parker and Spider-Man feel like two completely different people just because he keeps those separated. And when they start like blurring together, that's when things get complicated. And it's not because I have a personality disorder and I'm like scared to show you guys my real personality, which I'm not. Actually, like towards the beginning of YouTube and stuff, I was very much like, hi everyone, welcome back to Bookworm Free, which is not how I talk. I do kind of talk like this in real life, but it's a lot more like filtered and more like, I'm not just gonna word vomit you guys more than I already do, because I do a lot of word vomiting in real life. But yeah, it's just more like censored. So that's what I mean by like blurring the lines. It's just like, here's my personality where I only talk about acting, but then outside of that, I just prefer not to. But yeah, it's funny though, because me and Mia have gone to the point where we whip out a camera to make a video, and it feels like we're both getting into a character, which is kind of funny. And like, we're not lying, but like, you have to talk a certain way when you're on camera, and you have to have a conversation a certain way. Like, you can't really, like, you can interrupt people, but it's like, it's also like scripted and more thought out. Because like, when you're having a conversation with a friend, you're jumping from topic to topic, but like when you're making a video, you're kind of trying to stay in one thing. But yeah, anyway, I just think it's fun to talk about. And it's not talked about enough. Maybe I'm just a shallow influencer. And I have a personality disorder. But that's just, yeah. If you're an influencer, please tell me if you agree. But yeah. And it's funny because actually for a while, I had a friend group that they were all like, oh, Bree's a huge bookworm. Sorry, guys. I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm not. I have a book buying obsession. No, that's a lie. I bought a book recently for a video. But that's it. I haven't bought a book, like, for fun in, like, a year. And I used to love buying books and stuff. And I did go through a phase where I was kind of, like, not depressed, but way more introverted. And I was reading all the time. And then that's when I created my Bookworm Brie account. And then I kind of stopped being that obsessed with books. But then I was getting a lot of attraction. Everybody's like, keep making videos. So now what I do is I just continue to make memes for bookworms. But people take that as I'm still a super active reader. So it's funny to me. Because there's this one person that was already like, oh, I could, like, Bree's just too much of a nerd. No, I'm not. Like, I don't even read anymore, pal. Like, it was, at that point, it was a year since the last time I picked up a book for fun. But it was just because of my social media personality. He thought a certain way about me. So moral of the story, guys, don't trust what you see on social media. Because it's probably wrong. But yeah. So yeah, that's my thing about opinions, feminism in the film industry, and all that stuff. And reasoning for why I don't share, like, those kind of things. So yeah. Let me know your guys' thoughts. You can call me shallow if you want to. But I'm just keeping to myself because it's none of your business. I am not running out of ideas for things to talk about, but I feel like my videos recently have been really packed of information. Because I'm also trying to get it past 10 minutes because I don't want them to be too short. So let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to talk about film-wise. But yeah. Yeah. I will catch you guys next time on Cinephile Saturday. And have a good rest of your week. Please comment ideas. I'm running out. And follow my Instagram account. Follow my Pinterest. Yeah, those are my only other things. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!